Thank you for being here, everyone. As Dave said, my name is Paula Knutson. I serve as the Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, and I have the privilege of working with our athletics program and have been very involved in trying to nurture us to today to get Kim on board with us. So I appreciate your participation. We made a decision last summer when we had turnover in our position to do this search correctly and to make sure that we were doing it at a time that was going to serve our athletics programs in UWL well. We held off. We started the process in early January. We have several of the search committee members here. If you could raise your hand, who served on that committee. Committees at the university don't always move rapidly. This one was different. It actually moved it forward very quickly. They followed the timeline. They were ably chaired by Angie Lee, and they moved us through the process very quickly. We developed a strong pool. A couple of weeks ago, we started bringing in 3 very qualified candidates so that we could get to know them and they could get to know us. We spent a 2-day process trying to vet the candidates and learn a little bit more about them, and we did that. We have many stakeholders in this program. Many of you offered feedback and your time willingly. Spent the last week going around to those stakeholders and gathering feedback. What I can tell you is that overwhelmingly, we have the support of our next athletic director from all of those stakeholders. Kim comes to us with both coaching experience and 11 years of administrative experience here at UWL, serving as our associate and deputy athletic director. What I can tell you I heard from those stakeholders is that Kim's work ethic is incredible. She drives herself, she drives those around her, she motivates them to bring their very best game to every day. She has a passion for athletics. I'd say she bleeds maroon and gray. She loves her UWL athletics, she loves the student athletes, and she loves the people, some of you in this room, who deliver on those programs. She is very committed to the D3 model. She promotes students. She believes in developing our student athletes in sport, in school, and in life. I think she lives that model and drives it every day. She's been creative. She demonstrated that during the interview process. She's got some new, glowing ideas. And what I can tell you is I talk to the student athletes. Kim, when she tells the story about our student athletes, she starts to glow. She truly does embody the spirit of this program, these 19 sports that deliver to our community on a regular basis. In fact, the day I offered the position to Kim, she was at the national track meet. And while we're disappointed in the men's program only getting second at nationals, our women's program and Kim brought home our 64th national championship. So what I can tell you is that having worked with Kim myself now for almost 9 years, I believe that this is Kim's time. She is ready to provide that leadership. What I can tell you from our stakeholders is that she has grown incredibly over the past 5 years. She's grown every month, to quote one of our coaches. She has grown every month in the interim role, and Kim is well prepared to lead our athletics program into the future. So please help me welcome our next athletic director, Kim Blum.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. There are a few seats up front here yet, if anybody wants to sit down. I don't normally write out speeches word for word, much less read them, but this day is just too important, and if you all don't want to be here for 2 hours to listen to how excited I am about this, I thought I better stick to the script. So I would like to begin by thanking a few people. First of all, Paula Knutson, for her leadership and guidance for these past 8 months, for believing in me, and for affording me this amazing opportunity. To the members of the search committee, for their time and effort in this process. I know that it's a lot of work. For those of us who have been on committees, who have chaired committees, it's an extreme amount of effort and time, and I really appreciate you all taking the time to spend with me throughout this whole process. I'd like to thank my dear friend Shelby for being here. We run together every with me side by side throughout this whole process. So thank you for being here. I'd like to thank the gymnastics team for being here. You guys are, it's kind of emotional. Just seeing these guys here today. This is really, these student athletes are why I show up to work every day. Not to do something for them, but because of them. So thank you all for being here. And of course my family, who's sitting in the front here. My husband Lyle has been a rock star throughout all of this entire year. Even my kids, Jake, Nick, Josie, have been listening to my speeches, been listening to me practice. Josie quizzed me on questions in the car. So, and of course they've just been amazing throughout all of this. So thanks to all of you for being here. It is with a tremendous amount of gratitude that I stand before you, being entrusted to lead this department. I recognize what a truly extraordinary privilege it is to become the next Director of Athletics at UWL. I'd like to give you a small glimpse of why I am so deeply honored and humbled to be here today. Number one, I love this university. I applied here as a freshman. I showed up on this campus in 1988, and if you all want to do the math, you can figure it out. It was a while ago. I came from small town Tomahawk, Wisconsin. It's the only place I applied to. I knew that this was the place for me, and as soon as I stepped foot on campus, I fell in love with UWL. I had a wonderful experience earning my degree here. I learned so much from my professors and so much about my professors. I know that they really cared about me and all of the staff here at UWL. I have a unique perspective because I was a student here and now I'm employed by the university. And although my perspective has changed, the view is very much the same. Faculty and staff care about students. They work extremely hard. And this university provides an unparalleled educational experience for all students. It's part of what UW-La Crosse is all about. And I'm proud of what this institution represents. It's second to none in my book. Number two, I love this athletic department. I returned here as a graduate student. After I graduated undergrad, I went away and worked for a couple years, and I came back as a graduate student, and I spent 2 years here as a graduate assistant. I worked under an incredible mentor, Bridget Belgivini, who was the athletic director at the time. I learned a lot of things during that time, one of which was how to shovel snow off of a football field for a football game. In 1996, we hosted a second-round playoff game here against St. John's, and it snowed way too much to be able to play football on that field, so we shoveled it. And we've done that even recently across the way for a track meet, so it still doesn't change. After I graduated, I spent 7 years coaching track and field up the river at Winona State University, something that I truly loved. I was so proud to coach those women, but the opportunity to return to UWL years ago was just too good to be true. This is where I belonged because I believe so strongly in what we do here. This athletic program is an institution within this institution. We have an incredibly rich athletic history, but it's about many more things, one of which is our athletic staff. The staff are committed to our student athletes. Every year we visit with the senior student athletes and they tell us about how much this experience has meant to them. And it's entirely due to our staff and our coaches working hand in hand with these young people. I could tell a story about every single student athlete that competed, both male and female, but Laura Mead in particular ran the 3K and the 5K, very tough races. She wasn't expected on paper to score any points, yet she came out of that meet scoring points in both. She placed fifth, became All-American in some of the gutsiest races I've ever seen, and one of the most messed up races, quite frankly, I've ever seen. And so at the end, it came down to the 4x4, and our women needed to beat Oshkosh. It was a race, the overall title race was with Oshkosh, and our women needed to beat Oshkosh, and they did. They didn't just beat Oshkosh. They won the entire 4x4. And just watching those women lay it all out there on the track, it just was some of the most nerve-wracking 3 minutes and 50 seconds. Actually, if Pat were here, I should say 3 minutes 49.89 seconds. But I spent earlier part of that week interviewing for 2 straight days with my career on the line. But that 3 minutes and 50 seconds was that was tough. But we prevailed and came home with national title number 64. And I sit with all of these women in front of me because in a week from Friday, all of these women are going to be competing for a national title right here in our gymnasium. So I hope that you all can come out and watch them compete. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Watching them compete is just something that I guarantee you'll be in awe watching them. Lastly, the student athletes are exceptional people. Our student athletes are amazing. They have what I call true grit, a passion, combined with a perseverance for their goals, a toughness. They pursue excellence in every facet of their lives, and they do it with integrity and class. Back to the national track meet, when Oshkosh, who placed second overall, when they were coming down from the podium, our women were right there shaking their hands, and that's what I see every day from these people. They are role models for my own family. It's easy for me to be able to point to our student athletes as examples for my kids to follow. My daughter goes to Junior Eagles every week, and I literally can't get her to stop doing flips in my house. She talks about you guys all the time. I can't even begin to tell you all how surreal this day is for me. Let me give you a glimpse of what this past 8 months has meant to me. Remember the story that I was talking about, shoveling the field? Well, this year, I got to stand on the sidelines of a football game with our head coach and our football student athletes with my children, as at that time as the interim athletic director. And although I'm not above shoveling, that really was just kind of a full circle thing for me. I also got to stand out here and hand the plaque to Bridget Belgivini, who was the AD at the time that I was here, for her going on the Wall of Fame. Again, just another full circle. I got a hug from one of our staff members who is a veteran after I gave the Veterans Day speech, which I was incredibly nervous about. I felt that it was extremely important that I get that right. I got to cast our votes at the NCAA convention this year. I got a special orange lanyard that signified me as the voting person. It took Aaron and I a long time to figure that out, but that really meant a lot to me. I got to stand on the pool deck while we named the pool the Rich Pine Memorial Pool. Actually, it's not Memorial Pool, but the Rich Pine Natatorium. Someone who has a very storied history here and who was here back when I was a GA way back in the day. And I got to address the student athletes for the first time this year. I could list many, many more things over the last 8 months. There hasn't been one day that has gone by where it's lost on me the enormity of the position that I'm in. And that's just been for the last 8 months. So to be in this position permanently, my career aspiration is truly incredible. Moving ahead, I'm excited about many things. I look forward to supporting student success campus-wide in line with the mission of the university. I look forward to telling our story, to continue to impress upon people how truly remarkable our student athletes are, and to get more and more people to choose to share in our success. I look forward to partnering with the community on projects and to bringing events here that showcase our campus and our community. I know what our challenges are, and I look forward to working hard to find the resources that we need to compete at the highest level. I look forward to working to enhance what is already a distinctive athletic department and continuing the rich tradition of athletic success. In short, I look forward to winning, to meet people's expectations of what this program is about and exceed them. I've been a part of this program for 11 years. I understand how truly talented our coaches and our student athletes are. I see day in and day out how committed our coaches are to building champions, how committed our student athletes are to being champions. And I hope it is apparent how deeply invested I am in this university, and in particular, this athletics program. And I will never take for granted what an incredible honor has been bestowed upon me. Thank you all very much for coming.